Welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm going to show you guys how to make this double chocolate espresso sourdough loaf. We are going to start off by blooming our cocoa powder. We are going to add 50 grams of cocoa powder into our bowl, and we are going to use 100 grams of regular coffee or espresso shots. It has to be 100 grams and it has to be warm, and you're going to mix it together in your bowl until the cocoa powder is nice and smooth. The cocoa powder mixture should look like a thick paste. If yours is a little bit more on the watery side, that is totally fine. As long as all of the cocoa powder has dissolved, you are okay. So after you're done waiting for the cocoa powder to bloom a little bit, we're going to add our sourdough starter, and we're going to add 150 grams of this, and then we're going to add 300 grams of water. You're going to mix all of this together until you see no big chunks of starter. Small chunks are fine, but just try to dissolve it as best as you can. You can use warm water to speed up the fermentation process. I used room temperature as my home is already warm. So now we're going to add our sugar. I like to add brown sugar or regular sugar if I don't have any, but I add 50 grams of this. You can add 30 to 50 grams, but I like to add 50 just because I like it more on the sweet side, but you can tone it down a little bit if you'd like. And then you're going to add 10 grams of vanilla extract. You're going to mix everything together again, and then we're going to add 10 grams of salt and our 500 grams of flour. We're going to mix everything together, and it's going to seem like a dry dough. You're just going to have to keep mixing. If your dough is a little bit on the dry side, you can add about 50 grams more of water tops. I like to keep it at the amount I put, because when I add the extra 50 grams, sometimes it is too sticky for my liking. So if you like a higher hydration loaf, go ahead and add a tad bit more of water. But like I said, I wouldn't go more than 50 grams more than what this recipe already has. So once you're done mixing your dough all together, you're going to cover it up with plastic wrap or a t-shirt or anything that will cover your bowl. And you're going to wait 1 hour before starting on our first set of stretch and folds. So I decided that on my first stretch and fold, I was going to add my chocolate chips. You can definitely wait and add it on your second or third set, but I just added it now. I used the milk chocolate chips because that's what we like, but you can add whatever flavor chocolate chips you want. So you're going to stretch the dough. After you add a little bit of chocolate chips, you're going to add a few more, and then flip the dough again. And then you're going to do this 4 times, going all around the bowl, adding chocolate chips in between. And then what I like to do at the end is kind of fold the dough towards itself to where I make it into a ball, and I make sure that all of the chocolate chips stay inside the dough so they're not really poking through. That way, when we are ready to bake, there are chocolate chips all over inside the dough and not just on the outside. So now you cover up your bowl and wait 30 minutes to do your second set of stretch and folds. This is the second set right here, and I just gently do coil folds. I keep folding the dough towards itself, making it nice and smooth, and then I cover it up, do another 30 minutes of waiting, and then we do our last set of stretch and folds. We do the exact same thing, and then we wait until the dough has finished bulk fermenting to shape it. What I like about this loaf is that it does have the coffee in it, or the espresso shots, and I feel like it enhances the flavor of the chocolate, and it doesn't give it that sour taste that you get with sourdough. You can also do like a sweet stiff starter if you'd like to just not have any of that sour taste on your loaf. That would be really, really delicious as well. So it's really up to you how you want to make this recipe your own. There's many different things you can do to change this recipe and make it better. So whatever you like or your preference is, you can definitely change this recipe to your liking. So now I am done with the bulk fermentation and we are going to shape it. You see how the dough right here isn't sticking to the bowl. It was nice and jiggly and it was just perfect. So I just go ahead and shape the dough without laminating it because I don't feel like we need to. The chocolate chips are already in there. If you wanted to add more, you can definitely laminate this dough and add more chocolate chips or any other inclusions, and then you can shape it up. And then you put it in your banneton and you let it cold proof overnight in your refrigerator. And then in the morning, you're going to preheat your oven to 450 degrees with your Dutch oven inside. And once your Dutch oven has been preheating for a little while, you can go ahead and take out your dough from the refrigerator and start to score it. So I like to do a simple score. I just do a score across the dough and like one wheat stock I did here, I think. But this dough is like Play-Doh. It's such a cool texture that it has, and it's one of my favorite loaves, to be honest. My kids love it, and the coffee flavor just brings out more of that chocolate flavor, which obviously my kids love. So we are going to bake this loaf with the lid on for 30 minutes and then with the lid off for 10 minutes. And this is the end result. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and I will see you guys in my next one.